Sister Laura, you are a walking miracle. Would you share your testimony with us?
I will, thank you. You have to excuse me, I'm just so full of joy this morning. It's unstoppable joy. I just want to say thank you so much for praying for us. I felt your prayers. I tell you, let me start when we went there. I was bit by a spider. I was getting ready for church, and I was bit by a spider. And it got as big as a grapefruit, and I ended up in the hospital for 3 days. And believe me, the doctors could not wrap their head around it. They kept poking at it and measuring it and everything else. But I knew what was going on with me. But God spoke to somebody. We all know that God speaks to people as well. That's where we get our message. And she told me that God said to put garlic on it. What you do is you grind it down like you would cheese. You put it on that area. You put gauze over it for 8 to 10 hours. It's going to burn. I'm not going to kid you at all. It's going to burn. But what it does is that garlic, it brings all that poison up to the surface. And when you pull it back, it's going to pull that garlic, it's going to pull that poison off there. So I had to do that several times. So, due to all that and my age and everything, they ran a bunch of tests on me, and come to find out my cancer had come back. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to keep my eyes on you. I just kept my eyes on him, because the Lord doesn't like us to look at our situation, because once we start looking at our situation, we start getting fear. Fear starts to set in. And God is not about fear. He doesn't give us a mind of fear, because this is where the battle goes on right here, okay? And since the enemy, the devil, can't get to our minds, he's going to try to take it out on our bodies. So I knew that God was with me. I'm not going to lie. I cried and cried. I said, Lord, I'm going to keep my eyes on you. I know you're going to turn this around for your glory. He has. Thank you. Thank you. A year ago, I was bald and going through chemo. And you can see what the Lord did for me. This is how much it's grown. And be careful what you wish for, because I asked him for curly hair. But I just want to tell you that, when I was in chemo, it's such a dark place. It's such a dark, dark place. And you wouldn't believe the people that are there and how sad they were. So I stepped on out of my condition and pushed back the darkness. You got to push back that darkness, And I knew I was the light, because somebody had said to me one time, I had such an air around me. I had so many people tell me that. So I took advantage of that in this dark place, and I started pushing back. Devil has no place here. He has no place. And trust me, the Bible not only is a guide for us, but it's also a weapon. It's a weapon. And you can take these verses out and you can plunge them at the devil, because he's got to flee. He's got to. And, excuse me, I'm kind of getting a little hot up here, the lights. But I wanted to share that with you, because, we can't give up. We just cannot give up. I know our circumstances sometimes can get us down, but we can't look at them. Don't look at them. But I felt all your prayers. And when I went into surgery a couple of times, let me back up just a little bit. I've got to share this with you, because this really... So they put a port inside of me, to give me chemo.
They put what?
A port right here. They put a port under your skin.
I thought you said pork.
Pork? No, sir. I don't like pork.
I've heard of using like animal veins or something. They stuck a pork chop down there. Sorry about that.
He's trying to be funny.
No.
There you go. But anyways, And the port got infected. That poison was still in my system. See, I thought the poison was all out of my system and everything, and this is like 4 or 5 months later, but the poison was still in my system and it infected my port. And so I had to go into emergency surgery, and you know that was the time of the COVID-19, and they didn't know for sure if they wanted to do surgery on me because of this and that. But they took the port out. A couple weeks, they put me on antibiotics. A couple weeks later, you know, I had to have another port put in. But I was amazed. I couldn't figure it out why that poison was still dormant in my system. I'm like, why? What's going on? But then I get it. You know, the devil's he's gonna try to destroy us, and he's gonna go back and forth, and you know, until he can get you. And what he does is he does it to us Christians. He does this because he has other people. So why would he go back and forth there? You know what I mean? But when you're trying to pass the word on or trying to get your family to go to church, the devil's going to come at you. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. Because we lift up our grandson to the Lord. When he was first born, I lifted him up all the time to the Lord. When the COVID came on, I went around the house, blessing the house, you know, just getting the devil out of there, just praising them. And that's what we have to do. We have to cleanse our house. We have to cleanse our house. And the devil doesn't like that. So he's been attacking me. And I'm like, is this all you got? Come on, buddy. You know, I'm serious because the Lord is going to do wonders through me. He turned this around for his glory. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what he's got going on with me, you know? And I just want to say thank you all so much for praying for me, because I tell you, I felt those prayers and I was so calm. God gave me a peace when I went into surgery. I wasn't worried at all. And I came out with tubes all over me and this and that, but I'm saying, Lord, I'm yours. When this is all done, I'm yours. Use me as a vessel in your church to continue his kingdom. His kingdom. And one more thing I just want to add is that my pastor told me one time, well, up here, telling everybody, but I was listening, that put your whole armor on before you go out into this world. And that's what I would do when I got done in Acts or Matthew, wherever the Lord took me that morning. I went right to Ephesians from 10 to 24, and I read it right through. Put that armor on. Put that helmet of salvation on and your plate of righteousness. Put it all on before you go out in this world. That way you're being protected, because the Lord protects us. When we have this covenant with the Lord, look out, because, you know, don't be afraid, because the Lord protects us. Plead that blood of Jesus over your body, your mind, and your soul. That's what I had to do, because I was bedridden for a while. So what I did is I just filled my mind with his word. I listened to it. And, you know, I would always watch Rob on TV. If I couldn't get to church, I'd always watch. And I wish I could have seen you all on there. But, you know, it just gave me a sense of love. I could feel your love through the TV. I could feel your love through the prayers. I miss you guys. I miss you. Thank you so much for listening to me.